Today's going to be a bit of a reflection slash review of what my current thoughts are now that I've been living in this thing for 4 months now. And prior to this, I lived in my tiny little race trailer. I mean, it wasn't a tiny trailer, but the living quarters portion of it was tiny, and that got old pretty quick. But I stuck through it in the name of saving money because I knew that this is where I wanted to go. So I did that for 10 months. It was less than 100 square feet. All I had room to do was like put a desk chair in there and sit down, do work on my computer, or like directly turn around and use the fridge. It sucked. But this is a whole different animal. You might be wondering, what's it like to live in one of these things? You'd be a full-time RVer. The term full-time RVer does not imply that you have to be moving all the time. That's what people, they get that all mixed up. They're like, oh, well, how do you save money? Because diesel is repairs. Like, oh, guess what? This is a real tough concept to grasp here, but if you don't take it anywhere, it doesn't break. It doesn't use any fuel either. Wow. It's not like I never take it anywhere, but it sits here most of the time. So yeah, I'm a full-time RVer, but it's not like I'm out freaking putting hundreds of miles on it every day, all that kind of stuff. I go places when I need to, but I don't, I typically stay in one spot. That kind of defeats the purpose of saving money if you don't, because it gets terrible fuel mileage. It does maybe 6 to 8, depending how slow I'm going or how flat the terrain is, if I'm towing or not. It's just a guesstimate. It's kind of hard to tell. But as far as the actual living goes, I have more than enough room to do everything I need to do. It's been 4 months. I do not feel cramped in there whatsoever. I do not have any desire to get an actual apartment or like brick and mortar domicile. If anything, this has just reinforced my belief that I made the right decision. I really wouldn't change a thing. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it doesn't have any slide outs. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's no slides on this. One, it's a mid-entry, which is kind of different for a motor coach. It's not super common. Normally the doors in the front here, you walk up and you gotta walk the whole way back. I like the mid-entry because you don't have to walk through the entire thing to get something. You just walk in. I got the the sink and toaster and stuff's right there, bedrooms in the back, or I can go that way to go to the front. It's really kind of great. I don't even use the entire thing. Really, I just use this part back, and because all that's up there is a couch and like this random little desk thing. If you're just one person, you don't really need slides. You could do 2 people in here just fine, I guess, depending how messy the people are, but I really don't make that much of a mess either. Something that was hard for me to get used to is the fact that I now have places to put things. Like I have cabinets and drawers and all kinds of places to store stuff. Newell is really good about that. Where in my trailer, I didn't have a single drawer. I had a couple overhead cabinets and then a couple cabinets up there, and that was it. So basically all my stuff had to sit on a countertop, and when I would move, I'd have to throw it in the sink so it wouldn't roll away or whatever. But here, there's drawers, there's cabinets, there's underneath parts, there's everywhere that could they put a drawer or cabinet, they could. And there's 2 closets. One of them's a walk-in in the back, the other one's just a regular door, and I don't even use them. I don't use them, I don't need them. If I'm being completely honest, I'm a 24-year-old male. My dirty clothes go right in the washing machine, and when it's full, I shut the lid, throw the soap in, and turn it on. And then I move it into the dryer, and when it's dry, I just leave it in there, and I just get my clothes out of the dryer when I need it. And if I do another load before the dryer's empty, well, then the stuff just gets dried again, because whatever, it's fine. I don't really care. That's just how I roll. Now, as far as the hookups and everything go, if you're going to do something like this, 1, you need a place to park. 2, figure out what you're doing for hookups. But it's not as critical as you would think it is, because I don't have any water hookups here. I just use the water tank that's in it, and I fill it up every couple weeks. Just one person, I don't really go through a whole lot of water. Like, I still shut it off when I'm not, like if I'm taking a shower, I still shut it off when I'm using it, You know what I mean? Like, you don't just sit there and let it run the entire time. You're like soaping yourself and stuff. You turn it off to save water. I do that in here. So, don't need to, but I do. The only hookup I have is power to the building, which in my opinion is all you really need, because with how big the tanks are in these things, it's really not a big deal to unplug that thing, roll it up, fire it up, and go dump the tank every couple weeks, it really doesn't bother me that much. Like if you got a house, you know, you got to cut the grass every week. I don't have to do that. There's no grass here. I mean, there's grass right there, but it's not my grass to cut that, you know, other people have, you know, they worry about this. So the AC works great. It has way more units than it needs, which is awesome because it's got a roof one that Robbie Gordon put on there, and then it's got 3 chassis ones. It's got one in the front, the middle, and then the bedroom. And the only ones that work are the roof one and the center chassis unit. The front and rear don't blow cold for some reason. I just haven't figured out why. And even when it was 100 degrees here for like 2 weeks in a row, you know, it was over 100 degrees, triple digits all day, every day for a couple weeks in a row back in June, early July when I first kind of got here. I didn't have a problem. It was fine. And I'm really, really picky about keeping things cold. Like if it were up to me, the thermostat would be at like 65 everywhere I went all the time. I love the cold. If it's like 74, I'm like freaking, holy crap, this is way too hot, I can't sleep. Never had a problem with that. So, and now that it's fall, I'm not too worried about those units either, just because for the next 6 months or whatever, I'm not really gonna need them because it's gonna be running the heater. But I'll address those at some point when I got some more time. And actually, my toilet doesn't work either. I don't use it. One, because this particular Newell only has one big tank. It doesn't have a black and a gray tank. For you folks that are not familiar with RV terms, black water is the tank that holds the water, comes from the toilet. Gray water is the sink and shower. So your toilet water is separate from everything else usually, but not in this one. It's just one big tank. So if I use the toilet, then I now have like nasty tank water. So if I don't use the toilet, then it's just gray water, which I'm being completely honest, I don't have a problem with dumping in a random field somewhere, or even just like, you know, basically anywhere. It's just water. It might smell a little funky just from being dirty water, but it's not like you're freaking, you know, Uncle Eddie dumping your pooper on the side of the road. Like, you're not, it's really not a big deal. And if you've ever done it before, you know what I mean. It's just got a little bit of a weird tinge to it, but it's kind of a non-factor. So I don't use the toilet. That, and it needs an airline, something fixed, because it's like an air toilet, so whenever you flush it, it doesn't get the poop smell up through it. Like, it goes into a hopper, and then the flapper closes and the air pressure moves into the tank, because this is like bougie, and I guess you can't smell your own poo water when you got a fancy motorhome, so they do it like that. I wish it just had a gravity toilet, but it doesn't, so it doesn't work. Found out the hard way. Asked Brian Reed about that. So I got a little out of order thing taped on there now, so if anybody happens to come in here to race, they don't, you know, freaking bomb my toilet and find out it doesn't flush. So anyway, yeah, when I need to use the bathroom, I just go inside, or, you know, water the bush or something. That's not really a big deal either. There's little inconveniences like that that would be nice if I didn't have to deal with them. All said and done, the sacrifices that I have to make to do what I do, I'm more than willing to do. And really, this is so much better than my freaking trailer that I can't complain at all. Because when I was in my trailer in Oklahoma, it got, you know, below freezing at night, kind of in January and February stuff. So I'd have to disconnect my water hose, because I actually had a water hook up there. I have to disconnect my water hose and put it inside the building until I was ready to take a shower, and then I would hook it back up and let it run, otherwise it would freeze and I would not be able to take a shower. I had to go out there with a blowtorch and, you know, melt it off the spigot in the side of the building, take it inside, grab a different hose. It was a whole big thing, and really inconvenient because that thing wasn't insulated super well either. But this is not that. This is designed to be full-time lived in, and it's great for it. I'm not gonna go inside it right now just because this video is kind of impromptu. I just felt like it was something I needed to do. Just kind of give you guys a check-in of what my thoughts were like after I've been in this thing for a few months, in case any of you are considering doing it yourself, I would recommend it if you have a place to park one, for sure. Like, this is great. If you want to see the inside, I did a whole tour video on it where I show everything about it, explain everything. You can go check that out. Like, you know, my peanut butter is on the counter, and I use the dinette like a desk. I do all my video editing and stuff at the desk. I do everything at the desk. I pack shirt orders, my video editing, my eating, and I'm weird. I only sit on one side of the dinette. It has two sides, but I only ever sit on the side that faces forward. I don't know why. It's like the only place I've ever sat. Even when I was negotiating with the old guy I bought this from, I sat there. Like, I think I've physically put my butt in the other side of the dinette maybe 2 times. And I don't know why. I'm just weird. But that is one thing I would like to do, is up there where that little random knee wall desk thing is. It's not even a desk, it's just like a little knee wall cabinet thing. It's kind of useless. When I have the means to do it, I like to take that out and build an actual desk, so I could get a kind of an office chair, place to put my computer, get a printer, so I can have a more comfortable place to edit my stuff, because, you know, sitting at a dinette is not like the best comfort level for doing work on your computer. But it's carpet up there, so that's something I might want to get to also, is change out that carpet for some type of hardwood looking LVP, or heck, maybe even do something cool like with granite, or I don't know, find somebody. There's always a way to do something eventually, in good time. But for now, carpet doesn't bother me, because like I said, I don't even go up there anyway. But as far as driving this thing, the seating position is not meant for a tall guy, so it's kind of uncomfortable after a while. I have plans to move the gas pedal and stuff. I'm gonna change it around so it's more comfortable for me. I know this video is real impromptu, kind of spotty. My brain runs all over the place when I'm explaining stuff like this, but hopefully this gave you a look inside my mind and thought processes after I've been in this thing for a while. And I hope you learned something. If it's making you think, leave a comment. I want to know what you think. If you have more questions about what it's like to live in this thing, I want to know, because I don't know what you want to know. You got to tell me what you want to know, and I will tell you in the next video I do at some point. So, man, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you tomorrow.